Okay, then, on to the second installment of my testimony with the Lord. And a lot of people think that our testimony with Jesus is about how we turned our lives around and prayed the prayer, so to speak. Um, and really, I don't think so. Our testimony is ongoing until we come face to face with God at that last day. But no, it's really about our journey with Him. You know, there's a psalm that I love, and it's Psalm 84, and the verses in that psalm are just really speak to me very heavily. Blessed are those whose hearts are set on pilgrimage. As they pass through the valley of Baca, they make it a place of springs. They go from strength to strength until each appears before God in Zion. And so it's our journey is a pilgrimage in walking with the Lord, growing in Him, starting out as a little kid, little baby, then a toddler, and then growing up into full-grown people, adults in the kingdom of heaven, growing in wisdom and grace and in truth. And so this is the next chapter of how I grew in wisdom and grace and strength and truth. My first year in the Lord was my senior year in high school, and when in that first year there was some discipleship going on. There was some Bible study happening, and that was helpful. It was good, but really I didn't have a whole lot of friends still, and it was kind of difficult learning what it meant to walk with God. But then I hit the ground at George Mason University in my freshman year in college, and I was tooling around in my motor scooter, and I went into the student union building, and I was just asking the Lord. I said, it's a start, this walking with you. It's a start, but I really need some friends. And so I got through the doors, and as soon as I got through the doors, there was a table there of a George Mason Christian Fellowship, and so I jumped right into that Christian Fellowship, and I made some really great new friends, and they were really, really wonderful friends, and they helped me, and I was listening to what they were saying and listening to the things that they were musing about, and it was wonderful and powerful, and I remember tooling around the campus in the motor scooter, and just the grass seemed a bit greener and the sky seemed a bit bluer, thinking about these wonderful treasures that I was learning about in the Bible, and it was actually starting to make sense to me. But it was little by little, things were just opening up to me, and that was wonderful. And I started realizing that I was losing weight, and I wasn't just really. It wasn't that I was always eating a lot of food. I was just, but somehow I was just magically losing weight. In that first year or so in college, I grew about 5 inches. And I was 19 years old, and most everybody else that I knew had already done all of their growing, and that was when they were like 13, 14, 15 years old. But no, I never hit that growth spurt. But with the wonderful things that were going on inside of my spirit, that was kind of transforming my body as well, and it was a great time. And I was seeing a physical therapist as well, and I was really excited about that. I was sharing some of those things, but he was actually concerned about a hump on at the base of my neck for the last year or so before, and it turns out that hump just magically went away that first year. in college. Um, and I know why. Because when I was in high school, I was always hunkered down, hunched down, looking at the floor, looking at the ground, looking at the desk, looking at what I was doing, and didn't have much outlook on life. And I was mad, I was angry, I was bitter, and I was also extremely self-conscious of myself. But then, when I was growing in Jesus, it was amazing, and I was starting to realize who I was in the Lord, and looking up at creation and amazed at all of the wonders that He has made, and amazed at His love for me, and amazed at His love for other people. And my head was lifted up, just like Psalm 3. He's the lifter of our heads. And the hump went away. The hump on my neck went away. So that was chapter 2. Growing up in college, some of it was not great in some of the ways that I grew up in the Lord. Those first 4, 5, 6 years actually in college, I learned some bad habits of the church and learned some new wonderful things about the church as well. But I was always looking at the Lord to guide me through all of those things, and not looking at the faults of the church and the faults of other people, but I would look at the Lord, and that was really good and really helpful. So I hope this is a continuing encouragement, and for the next chapter, I'll talk about my first years at work, and what a change that was for me, and what some good revelations that happened during that time. So I'll see you next Saturday. God bless you.